As we get to the end of days, what we know is modern day Turkey will be a terrible, wicked enemy of Israel. Turkey is clearly turning under Erdogan to the dark side, building closer and closer ties to Russia and Iran, even buying Russian military hardware.
Bir terör örgütü değil, topraklarını ve vatandaşlarını koruma mücadelesi veren, evet, bir kurtuluş ve bir mücahitler grubu.
Folks, that's a leader of a NATO member nation, officially an ally of the United States and the West, calling Hamas a liberation group, mujahideen, holy warriors fighting for the liberation of their land, and they are not terrorists, according to Recep Erdogan. Well, we are joined by someone right now who knows a lot about Recep Erdogan, about the Hamas movement, and much more, and the prophetic implications of it all. Our good friend Joel Rosenberg joins us now from Jerusalem. What's your instant reaction, I guess you would say, to these comments by Recep Erdogan, the Turkish leader?
Recep Erdogan, first of all, good to see you, Eric. But Erdogan has just fully unmasked himself now. This is the type of rhetoric that he was using several years ago, for more than a decade. He was elected first as prime minister, later as president, as a moderate. But then he began to slowly gain power, consolidate power. And once he had full authoritarian, autocratic, tyrannical control of Turkey, then he started to become more aggressive against Israel and for radical Sunni Islam. But then when his economy was in trouble about a year and a half ago, he began to try to do a rapprochement with Jerusalem. And but now he realizes this is the moment. He wants to become the sultan of all radical Sunni Islam, just the way the supreme leader of Iran is the leader of all Shia apocalyptic and radical Islamism. So this is a bid for control right now by Erdogan. And this is proof that he is our enemy. And Erdogan is moving rapidly away from NATO, closer and closer to Russia, Iran, and Hamas.
Turkey, in particular, a prophetic player in your view? I think of Ezekiel 38 and 39, that coming war of Gog and Magog. Do you think Turkey, you mentioned Russia and Iran, we see those nations coming closer. Is Turkey in the future a prophetic player in your view that will come against Israel ultimately?
It is. There's no question about it. I wrote about it in my first nonfiction book that I ever wrote, Epicenter. And in my most recent nonfiction book, Enemies and Allies, I went into this issue again, and there's no question that Turkey in the Bible is an enemy in the last days. Obviously, it was the base camp of enormous amounts of preaching and teaching by the Apostle Paul and his team in the first century. But as we get to the end of days, what we know is modern day Turkey will be a terrible, wicked enemy of Israel. In Ezekiel 38, it's described as by an ancient name Gomer and Beth Togarmah. And so this, the question is, is Turkey, which has been a Western NATO ally, as you say, I like your point, NATO in name only. I had not heard that term, Eric, but I think it's apt. Turkey is clearly turning under Erdogan to the dark side, building closer and closer ties to Russia and Iran, even buying Russian military hardware. And this is insane. What NATO country would ever be in league with Vladimir Putin? But one more point here, geopolitically, Eric, before we talk about the prophecies, think about it this way. Just take the Etch-a-Sketch of this whole conversation for a second, clear the screen, and go with this one thought. What are the only two countries right now that are directing their military assets to invade democratic countries and slaughter them at will? That's Russia under Vladimir Putin going into Ukraine, and Iran under the supreme leader Ali Khamenei using Hamas and getting ready to send Hezbollah in as well. So those are the two countries. Communist China, horrible, but hasn't invaded Taiwan yet. North Korea, horrible, but hasn't fired an ICBM that can hit the United States yet. Right? So who's invading? Who are the monsters on the planet? Russia and Iran, just as the Bible said it would be. But that's a geopolitical analysis right now. It's pretty sobering.
Israel's enemies, as Psalm 83 lays out, it says, with cunning, they conspire against your people, Israel. They plot against those you cherish. Come, they say, let us destroy them as a nation, so that Israel's name is remembered no more. With one mind, they plot together. They form an alliance against you. Edom and the Ishmaelites, Moab and the Hagrites, Byblos, Ammon, Amalek, Philistia, which would be Gaza, the people of Tyre, Lebanon, even Assyria has joined them. Joel, I look at the map right now. Lebanon, Gaza, Syria, Iraq, nations that are hostile to Israel, and also Judea and Samaria in the so-called West Bank. We've got, obviously, terror movements there. What are your thoughts on Psalm 83 and its relevance to what we're seeing right now?
The Psalm 83 is a prayer, and I think that it is prophetic, but that it's not a prophetic about a specific war, but it's a prophetic X-ray or MRI, let's say, into the mind and the heart and the souls of the people that will hate Israel and have genocidal intentions to wipe us off the planet at that time it was written, but all the way up to and including the end of days. And there, the scripture you just put on the screen, let's come and conspire together, let's wipe them out, let their name be remembered no more. That is the genocidal intention of the Iranian leadership. That is the genocidal ambition and intention of the Hamas leadership, and the genocidal ambition and intentions of the Hezbollah leadership. And I would add now the Houthis in Yemen, which just fired a salvo of cruise missiles from Yemen. We've never, that I am aware of, Eric, I'll cross-check with you, but I don't think we've ever been attacked in Israel by Houthi terrorists that are funded, armed, and supplied by Iran. So I think Psalm 83 is a prophetic window into the thinking, the genocidal mindset. I don't think it's a specific war, but we're seeing Psalm 83 play out right now, for sure. As one Jewish Israeli 25-year veteran of the IDF intelligence forces up on the north, he said to me, look, Joel, I'm not a Christian. I'm not an evangelical. I'm Jewish. And I'm telling you, this is the end of days. And if Israel's leaders don't have the courage to go destroy our biggest enemies, not just Hamas, that's a small player in his view, but Iran's leadership and their missile threat and nuclear threat and Hezbollah, he said, then we're facing the end of Israel.
Joel, thanks again for joining us from Jerusalem. Great stuff as always, my friend. I will see you again soon in the land of Israel.